is a Canadian goose. And we're sorry about Celine Dion, but she did do that good song for James Cameron.
Hello, Johnny. How are you doing? I am doing camera stream. I have no apologies. It is warm enough up here that I am not comfortable with that. Oh, so yeah. Hi, Johnny. How you doing? I actually had a joke, and here's the thing. I don't know if I remember this conversation with you or if it was Hate Camel, but I had this horrible imagery the other day because someone was describing the actions of an Apache helicopter in a game. And I don't know why, but my derpy brain had this image of a guy who was like just an Apache native guy enacting a helicopter dressed up like a helicopter. And I was just like, this is weeb humor that I need to share with Johnny. Like, I think it was TC describe. I'm not sure who was describing it. Hmm. You know what? It might have been Blue.
Could have been.
Could have been
I
Blue.
don't know.
I don't know what inspired it, but legit, I just had this guy dressed up as like an Apache native dude, but with a helicopter theme. I was like, I want to give that joke to somebody who could do it better than I can.
That's fair.
I mean, if I did that, I would be in a lot of trouble. I still think it would be funny. I think that's really old British humor, though, and I don't know where I get it from because I never watched that shit for longer than I had to. How about
Are
you?
we still trending?
Hmm?
We're still fucking trending? Are you fucking kidding me?
What are we trending for?
We're still trending for stuff like hashtag internet down, hashtag interact down, and hashtag no ETA. Like, we're still fucking trending? Are you kidding me? Come on now. Oh, Rogers is trending too. That's just hilarious.
Oh God. No, that's a joke. Oh, thank God it's a joke. Always make sure that you read a handle before you get upset with somebody. Yeah, this guy's got a Trudeau spoof account and he was trying to claim that yeah, the Rogers outrage was a cyber attack. It's just one of those things where it wasn't. Rogers is just supremely incompetent and we're dumb for relying on one provider. Elon, please save us. Save us from our own silliness.
And that would just give that's starting to give Elon a monopoly, so that's not that great either.
No, but at least it gives us one more than just one. And then maybe we can encourage others to build one too. You know, not just Elon. It's just Elon has the money, you know. I don't know that many people who are billionaires who do that kind of stuff.
It just encourages another monopoly to get in the game. It doesn't do anything else.
No, it breaks up the monopoly we have because there's already one monopoly. But if you bring in another provider, now you've got two. And then if you bring in more than one extra provider, you've got three. It's a slow process.
That's short-sighted because Elon Musk would then have a global monopoly because he is a global provider. So it would just make us one extra provider, but it would just give him more power as a global monopoly. So it wouldn't really help as much.
It's still better than what we've got.
Maybe slightly, but not really.
I don't know. I think we can't be choosy when we're already we're already in a canoe with no paddle. You know, so it's either you kind of use your hands or you just sit there and think about it.
Get out the door!
Oh wow, but hey, we're making headlines because we're only 29 million trees into 2 billion commitment. Wow. Only 29 million trees. Wow.
Dude, Prince escaped.
Yeah, press escape, damn it. Hit it harder. 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 I wish your brother could come be playing with him every once in a while. Hey, Batsy. Hey, Trucker. Hey,
Hey, Batman! Yeah, my brother's enjoying his game. I'm not gonna stop him. It's like I told Pat the other day. I was like, you know what? Sometimes the joy that a dude gets is playing games with his friends. So.
Oh no, I just wish you could hear me playing with him every once in a while. Trump to write letter to release Steve Bannon from executive privilege. May allow him to testify to January 6th committee. Wow. Wow, that's okay. Breaking. Twitter vows to sue Elon Musk over termination of buyout deal.
I stand by what I said before. I still think he's going to make a purchase of Twitter, but knowing that there are so many bots on Twitter, he's well within his rights to lower the price. And I think that's basically what he's done. He's going to withdraw and be like, hey, this is unacceptable. I mean, he is purchasing this because he does want it for advertisements. You know, if you know that people are purchasing an advertisement on Twitter and it's going to be seen by, 50 people and 25 of them are bots, sure, it's good that you got 25 people, but you were seeing 50. Half of those people are fake. That's kind of pointless if you're spending money on something that, is per view. To big companies, that's a huge hit. That's kind of why they're mad at him right now. Because, yeah, the secret's out of the box. I mean, it's never really been a secret. But now there's some more proof that it is true. There are that many bots. If I was a mega seller, like somebody who was pushing something with a real product, yeah, that would piss me off a lot. Because they spend a shit ton of money on that stuff.
Steve Bannon swatted while live on air. Oh no, just news popped up. Steve Bannon swatted while live on air.
I'm not surprised. Wow, though.
And the love of Trudeau. Trudeau seeking to implement policy similar to that being protested by Dutch farmers. Wow. And he probably thinks it's a great idea. Because we wouldn't protest that here, would we?
We're already planning it. I'm not involved in any of that stuff. I've never talked to anybody who's a farmer in Alberta since probably the last time I went to the Stampede. And honestly, it's been a really long time. But I guarantee you, it's already in the works. Right now, I've heard people joke, well, you know what? It's just they're kind of strapped to get their planting done. They just are. Canada's like that. If you don't get it done, we're all fucked. So they're just rushing it. But I guarantee you, they're going to set this up because we're all fed up with it. And the globalists are failing everywhere. Like they are. Like there's shit going on, not just here. The whole world is kind of erupted into this. And it's kind of a joke for me right now to say that, it's not the Tim Pools, right? That we haven't been leading towards a World War III or a civil war. It's just the way that we've been going about it is wrong. The little people need to remember and remind the rich or the people who are in charge that they are the minority. Actually, they are. And we're not going to eat bugs. Screw all of you. We are not going to eat bugs if that's in your culture. No shade to you. But all the people pushing that shit now have parasites. We're not going to live in pods. And we're not going to just inject ourselves with shit so that you can use us as little hamster test bunnies.
Yeah. A lot of people would argue that this is
Yeah, you alright back there?
soft totalitarianism.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree.
It's not just that. It's decisions that are being made, that are being done deliberately, knowingly, irresponsibly, causing damage to people that will lead to people dying. On a world scale, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, BG, do you know what we used to do to leaders who used to do that kind of shit? Because we got tired of it. I mean, you're native, but I mean, part of you was German.
Yeah, but I don't really.
No?
Care.
Well, I'll tell you what the French did. They cut their heads off. They didn't do it because they were being evil. They did it because they were tired of seeing their kids die, starving to death, not being able to feed them with enough milk. They got tired of not being able to feed themselves. They got tired of not having homes. You know, you can only treat people like that for so long when we are an intelligent species. And here's the thing, we have the internet. We all are capable of reading. We're all capable of talking to each other. We are capable of getting advice from more than one specialist, more than one person who's a master in their field. So it's not hard for us to catch on to this kind of shit. It just feels like a Twilight Zone. How about you though? She's focusing on her real life, guys. Like this is not a bad thing to do. Even in World War I and II, don't ignore the fact that people did have to continue on with their lives. Like we can't all be obsessed with what's going on all the time. Because if you didn't do what you were doing, it wouldn't get done. The world still moves even if we're in conflict. But I do hope that people were looking out for each other yesterday in Canada. Like I'm glad that you were okay, BG. Like I know you were concerned about the medical stuff, but like I was worried that it was going to last all weekend, and I was genuinely concerned about people who might not be able to feed themselves, like elderly or people with kids. I was kind of like, oh, I hope people are thinking about that, because some people might have got their groceries already, maybe bring people over for a dinner if they can. It's not like there's that much shortages up here, but, people are kind of pinching pennies because it's been expensive the last 2 months, and like this month kind of boomed. I don't know. How's it been for you guys for that? Like food prices?
Oh, it's been shitty, but doable.
Yeah. So you're pinching, but you're okay. Gas, on the other hand, I mean, if we had to pay for gas, I don't know. Like, I'm grateful I don't have as many payments as some people. I've minimalized because I'm a better hippie than some of the hippies. I take transit, even though transit is disgusting. It's gross. We should do a segment where we exchange gross stories about Canadian transit with the Americans and the Brits. I bet you guys have nasty stories too. What is it with transit and gross people?
Well, the Brits never used to have bad stories with transit because the Brits actually used to have the best.
No, they just didn't tell you those stories, BG.
No, they used to have the best transit system.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean that gross things didn't happen there. Porn goes everywhere. There's a Rule 34 for everything. I was being facetious. But yes, they are dirty sometimes. I think the
Hellcat.
Mm.
Hellcat's here too.
Oh hey.
Hellcat.
Yeah, but-
Wait, Hellcat was always here.
yeah, he was.
Sorry, I'm mixing up Hellcat and Blaze. Never mind.
And
Sorry,
I am
Timmy
the one
Johnny.
who had some pie. I'm just saying, between you and I.
Too many Johnnies. God damn it.
Well, see, Scotty says the trains in Scotland are shit. It's one of those things where humans, like, you know, you get a bunch of us together and all of a sudden we just become really nasty. I come from a place where I don't know how, but we took after the Germans, even though there's not a lot of Germans out here, because, yeah, people will pick up garbage and put it in the trash. Alberta's weird like that. I'm sure you notice, like, when they, you know, in your city for like 3 weeks and we're just neurotic, like, yeah, this is gross, let's clean this place, this is nasty. For living here, we're gonna clean this that noise.
And I mean, Ottawa isn't terrible with their transit either.
No, Canada's better than a lot of places, if not most places in the US. I wouldn't necessarily say Europe, because I actually don't know a lot about European transit, because it's different. Like, your transit system actually is just different. But horror stories. Oh, yeah. Where is Trucker But? Oh yeah, he's working, isn't he? But you know, he's not here either. Did we forget to invite you, sir? Like, we've got these lady voices, and I'm like, you know, there's no man in here. And all the dudes in the chat are like, well, we can join you too. I just put my foot further in my mouth. That's fine. And you let me too. You're a good friend. No, actually let your friends hang themselves. It's funny. You should.
Let's see, anything else going on that I actually care about? Freeland says high fuel prices, a reminder of why we need to transition to green economy. Yeah, fuck you. Oh, but five charged after RCMP sees $24 million worth of pot.
Don't you know? They're gonna have us parasailing across our country next. Because that's how that works. You remember those bike shit things that they used to hook up to kites? I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I could see... Oh, God, I said it too. I say stupid shit as a joke, and then sometimes I see articles later where they're planning something like that. And I'm like, please don't take me seriously. Like, there's 6 people here. Which one of you is ratting on us to the government? At least 2 of us are us, so, you know. Streamlabs, it was you. You're the one sharing my really stupid ideas with really, really stupid people. Ziplines and be pining for citizenship. We have those, but I mean, that's for touristy shit. You know, anywhere that... Yeah.
Wow, 5 days ago, Trudeau says he will fight to ensure all Quebecers have the same rights as everybody else across the country. What rights do you have, Quebec? Seriously! If you don't have the same rights as everybody else, it's not the federal fault. It's your province. Fix your province. Leave us all alone.
To be honest with you, Quebec's gonna hear that and be like, no thank you, sir. They hate him. They hate him. It's not like they're not aware that their politicians are screwing with them. I think even you said that.
Yeah.
They're aware. But Trudeau, you're the worst. Everything about you is everything they hate about politicians.
So there's this article, right? And it says, Trudeau incredibly shocked and deeply saddened by the assassination of Shinzo Abe. And his face doesn't look like his sad face. It looks like his, I'm supposed to be sad face, but I don't actually feel sad, so I'm just going to give you my sad face. That's not my sad face, but it is my sad face. Please think of it as my sad face.
He's got his sad face socks on.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I was a little bit sad. Like I don't know enough about Japan to know how they felt about their president, but my understanding is he was fairly well liked. You know, people didn't necessarily always agree with him. He's a politician, that's how it works, but I had a good impression from his people.
He might have made a good impression, but somebody assassinated him, and he wasn't even the prime minister anymore. So
it is sketchy. It's also the memory of the work that he did, you know? A lot of times people in the community and you know, things that he did for the country, like a lot of people will be like, yeah, that's probably shocking the shit out of Japan.
What I think is interesting is that I love this. So this article is going, Trudeau thinking to implement policies similar of those protested by the Dutch. Now, what's funny about this is the Dutch farmers are protesting it like the trucker convoy in Canada. And now Canada's like, we want another convoy. Let's do this.
Yeah, no, Scotty, his dad is from Quebec. Trudeau's from Ontario. He speaks Quebec because of his dad, but he doesn't speak it very well. Like, quite often you'll see a lot of Quebecois making fun of him for it, because they're like that. They'll throw shade at you if they dislike you, and that's one that they're like, yeah, you're shit at speaking French. Shut up, man.
Yeah, they're like, your French sucks. You can't even speak knockoff French, which is exactly what we are. Knockoff French. You can't even speak French knockoff.
And he's been doing it since he was a child. So I think that's kind of where they are. Like with me, I stopped taking French after grade 6 because I had a bad transfer to another school. Like that teacher gave me a book, was like, here, learn French. And I was like, my parents pay you. My other teachers from before had like pictures and they were going through the alphabet and they were very enthusiastic about it. I was like, these people want to teach me. You're just a bitch. And I just wanted nothing to do with that part of my school system. I figured maybe later on in life I would meet someone who like had some kind of immersion and I'd learn basic stuff so I could be friendly.
Yeah, you're correct. The Shinzo Abe death was unnecessary. And that's how much that person didn't like him. Is they waited until he had no power anymore and still shot him.
There's a little bit more to it than that. And I only know this because I saw it on Twitter. So take it for what it is. It was a Twitter post. But he had something on some of the politicians in America. And he said something.
He had information leading to the arrest of Hillary Clinton.
I'm not sure if that's the case. I'm just saying he had dirt on somebody. And he hinted at it.
Hello.
Hello. Good for you to join us, though. I was just like, wait a minute. I know we did this out of the blue, but, you know. Welcome.
To be fair, I was on the phone with the bosses when you started, so I had no idea we're doing this.
It was a sporadic thing. So yeah, in case people don't know, the Netherlands are all pissy because they're reducing nitrous oxide.
No, it's more than that. They want to cut down on 30% of the cow farms so that they can cut down on cow farts and the soil. There's too much chemical in the soil because of the cow farts. And these farmers are going to be given this deal where they can either sell their farms for dirt cheap, or they can have them repossessed later on down the road. And it's not so much like farmers in the US, which would still piss people off phenomenally, because farmers in the US have probably been doing it for, a fairly decent long time. The Dutch have been doing it for centuries. So they're taking plots of land from people who've been doing this shit for centuries. So they're fighting not just for their livelihoods, but for probably a bit of their history too. Like these people are insane, BG. Like they want us to, They actually have food plants now for bug plants. They want us to eat crickets and grasshoppers and mealworms.
Yeah, except that we get a lot of our GDP from fertilizer because we make it like Ukraine does. So in a report compiled by Mayors Norris Penny, MNP, never heard of them, don't really care, they suggest that regulated fertilizer reduction could cost Canadian farmers $48 billion by 2030 and reduce crop sizes. So,
yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous. They want us to stop being the food growers. We want to be reliant on other people to grow our food. These are world economic people who do not understand that it does not work that way. We have to grow some of our own food, and in exchange, we exchange that food with other countries who also grow food. Just the same as we exchange everything else. We need to have our own food supplies. That's just how it is, because sometimes the world economics, sometimes things don't work out well for everybody. You know, that's how we help each other out. Like, we grow stuff here. You know, people in maybe South America, I'm going to use them as an example. They grow stuff. Well, if they have a crop failure, we can help with that. Or if we have a crop failure, they can help with that. So no, we don't need to reduce our food intake. We don't need to reduce our cow farts. We could reduce some of our politicians though, because they're really useless and they use a lot of our carbon. A shit ton of our carbon. Everywhere they go. They're carbon eaters. Those planes. Like Trudeau, has 3 of them everywhere he goes? His and then the other 2 that follow him. So he's got an entourage of people that they all put up in hotels. And I don't doubt that they all get cars so that they can drive places. I'm sure they carpool, but you get my point. This is retarded. Yeah, the biggest crop exports in South America is... Yeah, Batman, I'm not saying that. Ha 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 ha. You know, they also have bats. I don't know. Do they have bats in South America? They have to have weird bats. They gotta have weird, poisonous Brazilian wandering spider bats. A Brazilian wandering spider bat. I want one of those. They're like... Yeah, they did the exact same thing with the fuel and liquid fuel. It's exactly right. Like I said, these are people who are making irresponsible decisions deliberately, knowing they're going to cause problems for people. They want people to starve to death. If you haven't poisoned yourself to death, you haven't starved yourself to death, you haven't joined the Ukrainian war yet, you know, you're not aborting your kids, you're not sterilizing them. If you're not in on that, good luck, you're going to starve to death. The farmstead people, honestly, they're onto it. They really kind of are. I'm just not good at that kind of stuff. Sorry. I don't trust things that are pickled in water. Pickles have like vinegar and other things.
Bounties on citing of Supreme Court justices offered by left-wing activist groups. Oh, that's great. Radical left-wing activist group Shut Down DC is offering money to people who provide the locations of conservative SCOTUS justices for the express purpose of harassment. And why have these people not been arrested yet? And why do they still have a Twitter account? On their Twitter account Friday.
Because the White House has already released their information, to be honest.
On the Twitter account Friday, Shutdown DC posted, DC service industry workers, if you see Kavanaugh Alito, Thomas, Gorsuch, Coney Barrett, or Roberts, DM us with the details. We'll Venmo you $50 for a confirmed sighting and $200 if they're still there 30 minutes after your message.
So, Sasquatch sighting. Got it. That's what they should call it. I'm just saying.
Basically making it so that they can't be a part of public life at all. And they're making it so those justices are going to be more fearful about making an actual decision on things that aren't left-wing leaning.
Of course they are. If you don't agree with me, we're gonna put you in a box. We're gonna make it really uncomfortable for you. And you're gonna do what we ask you to do, even if that's not what your job is. These people are unreasonable. And it doesn't matter if it's good for everybody. They think it's good for them. So therefore it must be good for you too. Put your foot down and say no. Hard.
On Wednesday, Shutdown DC was responsible for forcing Justice Kavanaugh to make a hasty retreat from a Morton steakhouse and said the restaurant should be ashamed for welcoming a man who so clearly hates women.
Did they bring him sausage? I'm sorry. I'm in a weird mode for wanting to tell jokes. It is a steakhouse. I mean, maybe they have sausages. Papa?
Twitter's policy on abusive behavior states, we prohibit behavior that encourages others to harass or target specific individuals or groups with abusive behavior, and includes, but is not limited to, calls to target people with abuse or harassment online, and behavior that urges offline action such as physical harassment. And yet the account is still active.
Yep. Some people, rules for... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, don't expect any kind of help from Twitter. Remember, Twitter, these are the people that, Twitter are the people who, every one of these people that sit there and called Clarence Thomas the N-word, all their accounts are still active.
Yep. Some of the most heinous stuff that you see coming from them, and you're like, how do you still have an account? How many times do you get away with that before we get to come after you?
Well, I still find it funny when it boils down to it. All the people that showed up to, I'm willing to bet all the people that showed up to protest Kavanaugh outside the steakhouse can't afford to eat there.
Yeah. I still think some of them were paid. Because they had those bricks, brought in.
They still can't afford to eat there.
Yeah, we pointed that out. Yeah. Those rules really only apply to certain people. Like we were talking about Tamara Litch earlier and how if that convoy event that she had created was about the Roe and Wade, she would be hailed as a Canadian hero by the left. 100%.
Maine
No
Department
jokes.
of Education declares that gender identity should be taught in schools after the murder of George Floyd. What a black man getting murdered for being a moron and the Department of Education has in common, we don't actually know, but hey, I'm sure they connected the dots somehow.
Yep. I'm sure George is very proud of that. He's just like, yeah, that's not on me. Don't associate me with that shit.
Biden spends $1.5 million on transgender programming for prisoners. Jesus Christ.
All right. I think I got ate alive by mosquitoes today, guys. Don't be surprised if I'm like, oh my god, how did it get me there?
Hmm.
They're little ninjas up here, you know.
They are.
But you know what? She's closer to the Great Lakes than I am, so ha 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 ha.
Eh.
Ha ha ha. Not by much, but
Oh, Steve Bannon to be keynote speaker at CPAC Dallas. That's why he was twatted.
No, there's Bigfoot that runs here.
Interesting.
They're in the back.
Very interesting.
Sand fishers, night fishers, awesome.
You know, Twitter, maybe instead of threatening to sue Elon Musk, you should take care of your bot problem. Maybe you should do that. It's like you got herpes, and you're just denying it. Get rid of your crabs.
sorry.
Fix your herpes.
Big yawns. Sorry. Your crabs and your herpes.
Yeah. They're bitching that, you didn't buy us, and it's like, that's because you got crabs and herpes, and Musk doesn't want an STD. Clean, fix your shit.
Huge building, all sorts of shit, man.
Gotcha. Hi, Red. How you doing? She just got home. We were like, you know what? We didn't do one yesterday, and we're both kind of sitting here not doing anything, and BG had a lot of plans canceled, so I was like, you know what? Let's do one. It's hot as...
Yeah, why the fuck not? Hey, Red Feather.
It's a nice day. I think, it's kind of a quiet day for a lot of people, and why not? Party time! Party
Excellent.
time! Still funny.
I need slippers. I'm getting up and going to get my slippers.
She's cold. Her apartment is on high so that she can keep her little fluff ball kitties nice and warm and cool.
Cold? Yeah.
Yeah, and they got all the fluff, and she's like, I don't have any fluff. I have fluff.
Hey, Wilson. How's it going, bud?
Well, see, now you have fluff. So what you do is you pick him up and you use his fluff.
Mm.
Meow.
Are you nice and cozy in here? Yeah? You're in my bed. Hmm? You like being in my bed when I'm not there? Hmm?
Yep. Yep.
Cat's just like, you sat on the bed. Fuck you. You're not coming to lay here, are you? You better not be. No, don't worry, buddy. You can stay there. I'm not coming to lay in my bed. It's okay. It's okay. You can have my spot. Yeah, put your head back on my pillow. That's okay. You want a pet? You don't have to move. You want a pet? Oh, you can have a pet, buddy. There you go, bud.
Mm.
There you go, buddy. Yeah. You want a pet? Oh, yeah. You want to scratch behind the ears? Right in the ears? Oh, there you go. Right behind the ears. What?
Ooh. So apparently, apparently Trudeau is in Sudbury. Where the fuck is Sudbury? Is that Ontario?
Yep. It's about 2 to 3 hours away from me.
Okay, well, he got booed. They are very unhappy
good.
with him in Sudbury. He's being booed, and he's very unhappy. He's like,
Good.
You're anti-science.
Nobody likes me. Maybe I'll go eat worms.
Yeah, he's being held up by Jagmeet Singh. That's the other one people need to really focus on, not just Trudeau. Like, yeah, he's a dick, but he's gonna stay there until Jag stops propping him up.
Never should have elected Jag either.
Yeah, but that stuff in Sri Lanka, it's like Scotty was talking about. They've totally invaded a lot of shit there. Let me take a look into some of that stuff.
Like, I don't mind electing a Sikh, okay? As long as the Sikh promote Canadian culture. Not Sikh culture. Canadian culture. You are part of the Canadian government. your primary focus should be Canadian culture.
Mm-hmm.
And your secondary focus should be your Sikh shit. And if there's a problem there, then don't apply for the fucking job.
Yeah, pretty much. It's always been how it should have been.
And to be a Sikh, I think it will be in conflict with Canadian cultures because all I know is Sikh is Muslim light.
Hmm.
It's not Muslim, it's Muslim light. They still have arranged marriages. They still have honor killings. And so their religion is very, 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 very important, which is fine unless I am worried that you're not able to put Canada before your religion. In which case, then I'm not too happy with you. And before anybody says, what about the Christians? I'll have you know that Judeo-Christian values was founded within Canada. So that is Canadian culture already. So, no, it is not equal to Sikh culture. Okay, so if some Christian MP is there, I don't see that as being in conflict with Canadian culture because Canadian culture was founded on Christian ethics. And nobody seems to be willing to make that distinguishing line, so I will. You know, if Canada was founded on Sikh ethics, then I would be saying to the Christians, put your religion to the side and put Canada first. But seeing as Canada was founded on Christian ethics, it is not in conflict with Canadian culture first to have Christian MPs and not have to wonder, are they going to be able to put Canada over themselves? Because their religion aligns with Canadian culture. I don't think Sikhs can't be a part of the government because I think they can. I would just like to know, is the religion able to be put aside for Canadian culture first? And if it can't be because Sikh, then don't apply for the job.
Well, no, that's fair enough. I mean, and I would, yeah.
Ow, cat.
Whoop.
I'm trying to do a podcast here. Don't shred my arm.
But your arm is
Listen,
like a pincushion, and it's squishy,
Ow!
and it makes you
Listen,
make squeaky
Hitler.
noises.
Ow!
You know
Hitler.
what? Maybe you're just their giant squeak toy.
Fucker. And Ozzy, don't even, no. Wilson already had to go at me. No.
Ozzy's like, I wouldn't even, oh no, maybe I would think about it, but I wouldn't do that. I'm the sweet cute one that just kind of lays here and looks at you like, hello, I'm here. I might hump your pillow though.
I'm looking at this bag of dill pickle chips, and I only have a half a bag left, but I'm going to eat it.
Alright.
Because
Fair,
it's
they
college.
don't hug blind girl's pillow. What they do with their pillow, well, all I gotta say is they're not fixed. Figure it out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay, so I guess the Sri Lanka president is gonna step down. Crazy. She's in munchy mode, guys.
It's Saturday, and it's sunny, and it's hot, and it's nice out. So, I'm eating munchies, and I'm good.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we both went quiet there. I'm just like not sure what to talk about. Do you guys in chat have anything we could talk about? So I'm not like sitting here like, I don't know what to talk about. Like there's stuff from like people being like, yeah, my son had a stroke and he had his booster last week, and you're like, I don't know. I don't want to make those connections. I'm not a doctor. I ain't a scientist. It's a little bit suspect when they're 23, but I wonder how they avoid the Mexican staring frog of southern Sri Lanka. All red. Sri Lanka isn't in South America.
Okay.
It's closer to India.
Okay.
So there's no Mexican staring frog in Sri Lanka. We need to get her a globe. Just a full-on globe. I need one too, actually. They're expensive nowadays, though. Like a proper, decent map or globe of a map.
I don't know anything about Sri Lanka, so I couldn't even comment.
Yeah, it depends on who you ask whether or not the stroke was caused by the jab. Apparently, some people hear that stuff, and I legit watched a dude interview people who blanked out when he would point that out. Like, it's literally the peanut butter analogy all over again. Like, if you knew that this shot had peanut butter in it, would you give it to somebody who had a peanut butter allergy? Yes or no? Oh, it was their choice not to take it. Peanut butter, but peanut butter kills them. Is it still their choice not to take it? Do they have to die to make you feel safe? And then you'll explain to them that there's some people that are exempt, and they're like, yeah, we're getting vaccines for the exempt. And like, that's what this person is. They don't understand that connection. Like, the visuals just, they blank out. That doesn't exist. What are you talking about? It's literally like watching someone who's an NPC. It's actually the creepiest thing I've ever seen. Do you ever kind of wonder if the brainwashing crowd are right? Like, for real? Sorry, Susan. I'm not meaning to go weird. It's just... like, watch an interview with somebody and watch their reaction to certain questions and just watch them kind of, like, break down a little bit. Like, what did you say? Like, it's weird.
Huh.
Yeah, Trucker is muted. He must be talking to people.
Probably it has to work or some shit like that.
Oh, there you are.
I'm here because I didn't think y'all want to hear me eat cheesy poops.
Meanwhile, I eat pickle chips.
I'm drinking a Diet Coke. It's all we're even. That's all good. See?
I wish I was drinking a Diet Coke.
Well, Jen, all in all, y'all are still better off with Trudeau than we are down here. You know why?
Why?
End of quote. Repeat the line. You didn't hear about that, did you?
Nope.
Wow, there we go. You know what? I'm going to turn you up so you can spill the beans.
Just Biden got caught reading the teleprompter word for word again. He
Uh-huh.
was making a comment at the end. He was making a quote or reading a quote at the end of it. He flat out says, "End of quote. Repeat the line." Yes, everybody's been giving him hell for that.
So, is that one of those things where you can call him the puppet president because of it? Like, because that's really... It's not like other presidents before haven't used a prompter, but it's when they're feeding them lines, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing was, I mean, it was kind of a, it was kept kind of a secret until Obama that all these guys were reading at the or reading off teleprompters.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those dirty little secret kind of things.
Yeah.
Except when Biden was making speeches and the teleprompter would break down and he would just lock up in the middle of his speech.
Well,
So, yeah,
Yeah, because he can't function without somebody else helping him.
right.
He can't
And then,
remember. Yeah.
Right. Now, for the most part, Trump actually did not use. There were times where he did, but most of the time he really didn't use teleprompters too much. He had a little card with just like footnotes or something.
Yeah.
But Biden, oh my God,
Yeah.
this is a man who walks around with instructions printed on the card. You enter the room. You wave high. You sit in this chair.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, that was last week.
Well, I imagine it's going downhill. Like even since the election, he's been going downhill. Like I predicted a while ago, it's a waiting game.
Oh yeah.
And who they're going to replace with, and then like Kamala's just sitting there like
Oh, Kamala ain't gonna get no slack if she ends up getting in.
Mm-hmm.
It's even to the point where her own people are hating her.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
No, go ahead.
Shit, I just lost my thought.
Sorry, I didn't really have anything to say. I was just kind of like,
Well, see, the thing is, come November, November.
Scribe!
That's
What is
what?
Snoop? Yeah, we got a Scribe light. How you doing?
Nice.
Holy hi.
Look at us paying attention to our own chat.
No, just holy hi. Hi. Hi.
This is my friend Blind Girl. She had an interview with Vive. Viva Fry.
Hi.
It was great.
Hi.
She's the blue-haired girl. But yeah, we were what were we talking about, Trucker? I'm not gonna interrupt you again because you were finish your thought.
No, I'm just saying at this point, if this red tsunami they've been talking about comes November, Biden's not going to last long after that. And I got a feeling with just her total inaction of the few things that she's been put in charge with, since becoming vice president, she ain't going to last long either.
I think she's over her head, and I think she's aware of it. Like, believe it or not, even if she was all like, yeah, I want to be the president of the U.S., when you start that thing, thinking, yeah, you can go and do it, and then you actually get there, with what she's qualified for, if I got that far and then, like, was sitting at the edge of it, yeah, I'd be like, oh, shit. Especially with everything that Biden has set up for her. Even if she was exactly the thing that she is, what she is, I wouldn't want to deal with what he's leaving for me. Especially if I didn't know what to do. And she doesn't. I can guarantee you she doesn't know shit about what she's gonna do.
She doesn't know much at all about anything.
No. And who does she have to rely on? Nancy? Who's probably 2 sheets short to the wind on whiskey and senility? Yeah. And, or AOC, who's like nowhere? She's a district, isn't she?
She's a representative.
Yes. I'm not saying that to throw shade at her in that way. It's just in terms of her universal American influence. Like who's really there to help Kamala? Who's not gonna backstab her at this point?
The biggest thing about the whole mess, it's still kind of the reason I bring this up is it's a okay. The founding fathers had said, that we're supposed to be represented by better men in that sense.
Yeah.
So when it boils down to it, most of these politicians are supposed to be the best of us.
Yeah.
But then the thing is, every single one of these politicians, whether it be Biden, whether it be AOC, whether it be Kamala, Nancy Pelosi, any of that, or any of them,
Mhm.
People are the like it or not, the plot of the Constitution has long since been lost. To where these are not supposed to be our leaders, they're not supposed to be our rulers. They are supposed to be pretty much our puppets.
Mhm.
So the question is, when it comes to Biden, who is his puppet?
Yeah.
Who's his puppet master?
Probably
Who's
his
on the other
wife.
side of them strings?
Well, everyone says his wife, but I don't doubt that she's part of it. But she's not the one who's feeding him that stuff either.
No, she's too busy feeding him his pudding.
Mhm. Like, she's the director of what he's doing. She's getting the information and she's making sure he does it. I'm still thinking it's not necessarily Nancy. Like, Nancy's a part of it, but it's not like she's alone. Like, there's a bunch of, I don't know all your politicians' names. I should, because I watch Lords of the Night all the time. I should know these names, but like, I think of all the little troll men in the towns.
Little troll men.
Yes, because the more I learn about them, the more they seem like little troll men.
I was gonna say that is kind of my purpose here, right? to be the oh, what's the term I'm looking for all of a sudden? The liaison between the Canadians and the Americans.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Well, it's just the names that I think of, and I can't think of any at the moment, but normally there's that guy who's standing right next to Nancy Pelosi in almost every shot. He looks like he's like maybe 15 years younger than her. He still looks old.
That's Chuck Schumer.
There you go. That was the name I was
yeah, that's the Senate Majority Leader, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's got his hands in more things too. Like, I know he doesn't have that much power either, but he's always there. When you see common people always kind of there, but they're in the background, don't think that they're not involved in stuff. Like, some people are just like interns. But you
the biggest thing you got to realize when it comes to, say, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, anytime they give a speech that says this needs to be done, this needs to be done, this needs to be done, unless they're doing it, they're full of shit. Period. Because most of these rules they want to be put in place, it's their job to take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's precisely why Roe v. Wade was actually such a thing. It's a matter of, hell, Clarence Thomas flat out said, if y'all want to have the federal government to have any say so in abortion, Congress needs to make the law, not us. Congress needs to make the rule, not us.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah,
they just spent so much time kicking the can down the road that they want to sit there and say, "Oh, we did it," if it turns out to be popular.
Yeah, there's also Cory Booker. I know he's not necessarily big. I'm just thinking of other names that I should remember because he ran.
There's a lot of people that ran.
Yeah,
doesn't mean they matter.
No, it just makes me feel bad because I like to think I pay attention to shit, but my brain lately is just like, what do you remember over the last 5 years, Jen? It's a blur because every other week there's something new. Every other day there's something new. Like yesterday it was like, what, 4 or 5 different things all at once? Like we had no internet, our Rogers, so you couldn't buy shit, our internet, our Interact was down.
Yeah, all of our shit was broken. We just broke all of our shit.
It's a big disheartening statement of the youth of today that the internet was down for a day and all the kids in their houses wondering what the hell they were going to do.
To be
honest,
go
outside and play.
I enjoyed that part because over here most of us are on Shaw. So, I mean, yeah, we couldn't use our Interact. That part was, BS, but that's not the first time we've gone a day without money. It's just more of the fear of not having it all weekend. Like, they really didn't communicate that well because they implied that we would be like this all weekend. Like, what? Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
was laughing about that
I
too.
bet you there's some Canadian preppers up there yesterday, just leaning against their wall with their arms crossed, going, "Ha ha, we've been ready for this."
Well, it's kind of like it's a warning shot. Like it was so easy for that to happen. And yeah, I don't doubt it was incompetence from Rogers. It was the last time. It'll happen again until we get another provider up here or a couple more providers up here so we're not reliant on one or two.
Did they ever say what caused it?
No.
I still say it was Johnny from the airplane movie with the extension cord in his hand.
It very possibly could be. Sometimes it's something as dumb as that. And knowing that we're all linked in like that, it's just like this is why this is part of why we're so easily controlled, you know? It is. It all ends up being linked a little bit. I'm just tired of being run by people who just don't give a shit. I'm like, just do your job. Or
Yeah,
let us,
sounds about right.
let us know what it is that we need to do. If we need to focus on stuff, we'll focus on it. But no, they want us to focus on cow farts and coughs.
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't they want us to do that?
I ain't gonna eat those bugs. I'm sorry. Steaks are just too delicious. They're delicious in my tummy.
You know how you like your seafood? I like a steak on my plate. Sometimes with some potatoes and sometimes with some carrots. I'm from Alberta, you can tell.
Yeah.
Our
That's
prices
it.
are up there too, though. So don't whine when we. I mean, oh come on! Ontario has cattle. You guys have beef. It's not our beef.
We have beef. We have steaks. We have good steaks.
You know.
And the best way to prepare a steak, Woody Harrelson described it best in The Cowboy Way. Well, you just bring an old bossy in here, cut that piece off her ass, throw it on a plate, walk it quickly to a warm room, and set it right in front of me. Oh, now's where I lose y'all?
No, I'm just
No.
responding to Red. She was making a joke, and I was responding to her joke by adding more to it.
You haven't lost me. I'm just I'm slightly preoccupied with the whole flyer thing still.
You're still on the
because-
flyers? Oh, okay.
I'm still trying to find a cost-effective way to print these because I didn't get a chance to go to Staples, and so instead of being out in the sun like the princess that I am, I'm sitting in here. Well, I was talking politics. Now I'm listening to politics. And Scribe was here for a minute. Holy shit! You know what? The
Yeah.
last time I talked about Scribe, okay, I remember when I first started blind trucking. And I can't remember who it was, but somebody bet how long it would take before Scribe lost his shit with me for ruining the format. I can't remember who it was or when it was, but that was the first time I heard the name Scribe Light.
You know, Red, I think I'm onto something with that one. You know, if we put masks on the cows to prevent COVID, maybe we should just put masks on their butts to prevent farts.
You're not wrong.
At the very least, it would be funny watching them fly off. I'm very immature for my age. Oh my goodness.
Holy crap! I feel famous now. It's crap.
See, the big dirty spot when the big dirty part when it talks to everybody sitting there doing the whole eating the bugs thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the problem is where do most of these bugs actually, where do they start off in? Where the eggs laid?
Egg?
Where do they hatch?
Oh.
where the eggs hatch, where do the
Start
larvae
off with
come out?
something what?
It's all in the soil. It's mainly
Oh.
soil, very nutrient-rich soil. Problem is, where does the soil get its nutrients from? Oh yeah, dead animals, animal byproducts, aka shit. There's a reason why there's so many damn bugs around these farms.
Well,
It's
yeah.
lovely.
It's also just that like bugs are kind of designed to live in nature. So sometimes they eat things that are also poisonous. So they become poisonous. Kind of like how birds and frogs and other poisonous things will sometimes do the same thing. You know,
Yeah.
These people don't know what they're talking about. But also because they don't know what they're talking about, they're going to process food that people really shouldn't be eating. Most people who are eating insects like that, they've been doing it as a culture for a really long time. Or even maybe just the last 100 years. I hear there's some Asian countries that, really haven't been doing it for as long as you'd think. It's just they were starving. They were starving, being part of the reason. But when you start eating something like that, usually you learn how to process it. These people.
Well, you realize this whole
Mhm.
thing where when they started with the eat the bugs. This all started last year with when Brood 10 came out, right?
Yes.
Or was that Brood 7? It's when the cicadas came out. That's when
Yeah.
they started talking about this more and more. Because unfortunately, you got people like me who sit there and say, yeah, when the cicadas come out, yes, I'll eat bugs, but that's at a matter of once every 17 years for the novelty of it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make it a part of my diet, damn it.
No. And also, yet again, that's a little bit of a cultural thing. Like, my understanding is the people who do that are still processing them a little bit. Like, you're cooking them. You're not just
Yeah.
eating them from the ground.
No, you don't just pick them up from the ground and eat them.
And I know there's processing that they're doing. They always do. But a lot of the people who do this shit are the same kind of people who push vegan crap. And while I don't have a problem with vegans, the problem I do have a problem with vegans with is their tendency to lie about the products that they're pushing. It's like fake meat, fake cheese, fake whatever, and then you go to eat it and you realize it's completely processed. You're questioning what is in it a lot.
Well, it's kind of like it's kind of like what they did several years ago
Mhm.
when they introduced turkey bacon.
Yeah.
Thing is, turkey bacon's still a thing.
And
Problem is,
it's not bad.
turkey
It's just
bacon.
not bacon.
Oh yes, it is. The thing is, when it comes to turkey bacon, they add so many different chemicals and so many different, spice, so much salt in it, then so many different chemicals, flavoring agents, preservatives, and all this, to where by the time they make turkey bacon taste like bacon, it's healthier for you to eat regular bacon.
Well, there you go. It's the processed stuff.
So
It always ends up being the processed stuff. When you realize that something looks like Lioner sausage, do you know what Lioner sausage is? Or
No.
Liona?
yeah, Liona sausage.
I've heard it pronounced both ways. Lioner and Liona. I know what they mean.
No,
It's
not by that name.
okay. But it's a very white sausage. It's a sandwich meat, but it's like 80% fat. Most sausages go downhill from that. So like say you were to get Mhm.
That sounds like a country sausage down here.
Mhm. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not. It's just they might have changed the name. It's a German style sausage. I think Austrians have it too. So, I'm not sure. I don't know who invented it. I just know my mom really loved it. And she calls it by the German name of it. But a lot of those sausages are kind of based off the same idea, the same principle. Like it's leftover meat. It's leftover fat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's low end meat. It's usually got the most processing to it. You can tell. It's not like a nice salami where you're like, okay, at least there was some thought to this. Like, the meat's a little bit better quality. They had to hang it. There's more salt in those for a reason because they're meant to be dried, like a
And
pepperoni.
preserved.
Yeah. Whereas the sausages, they're supposed to be preserved in a fridge, but they last forever. They're so gross. My brother really likes it. My mom really liked it. I was just like, I can
Don't
taste.
worry, my father is absolutely hung up on those Vienna sausages.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever the hell decided to call them, I don't know.
Well, my mom also liked head cheese, and to be fair, I was finally brave a couple years ago, and I was like, you know what? Fine. I have never wanted to try it because it's called head cheese, and yes, I'm a little picky about that kind of thing.
Ew.
And it looks like
cheese,
gelatin
gross.
with ham chunks in it. Fair
That's
enough.
just pretty
That's
much
what
what
it
it
is.
Yeah.
It's just chewy ham.
So where I get or the place I get deli meats from near me, what their head cheese is because they make their head cheese in and of itself.
Okay.
There.
Yeah, that's
pretty
cool.
much what it is. What it is when they've got a deli meat that is running low, like they pull out that log of bologna and start slicing on that, and there's a little bit left over at the end. They save that little bit at the end, and then it'll be ham, it'll be say like a pepper loaf or not a pepper loaf, an olive loaf they call it, or it's pretty much whenever there's just a little bit left off that deli log of meat, they'll sit there and cut that up into pieces and put it in basically gelatin. So the stuff I get from their head cheese is pretty much whatever's left over from slicing up meat the day before.
Okay.
So their head cheese is never actually the same.
Huh.
But it's kind of cool and it's dirt cheap.
Well, it's a different concept. Like, I mean, I get what they're going with there. Because, like, traditional, traditional head cheese is just because it's using the face.
Yeah.
Effectively. I mean, honestly, I watch a lot of this, this channel. I can't remember his whole name, but it's Ancient Cooking. And the amount of recipes where they're using, like, a calf's head, I'm just like,
oh, yeah.
Why?
Oh, yeah.
I get it's probably good. It probably is. To be fair, I'm young and I'm snotty because of it. I've had pizza rolls and pizza pops. Thank you very much.
Every culture has at least that one thing that everybody eats, and it's just a normal thing. To somebody else, it'd be gross.
Yes. Like balut. I do get offered balut a lot. If you have a Filipino fan,
what?
Balut. Balut is a Filipino snack food. It's a duck egg that is fertilized, that they boil alive, and so you peel it, and there's a little half-formed baby duck, and they think it tastes like a moose.
Are they retarded?
You know what?
I
would try that. I would try that, and I've definitely eaten worse. All I gotta say is come down to the American South again, have a big old plate of chitlins with me.
Is that the pig feet?
No, that's the pig's intestines.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm good. I get the concept. It's just one of those things where, like, I don't know. I was raised with a lot of food that didn't have faces on it. It's like the most I ever really saw of a face on a food item was maybe somebody with a fish. Somebody presenting a plate with fish. I remember reading stories about fish pie and laughing, being like, what, they left the heads on and then baked it like that? And yes, they did. TC should tell me about it.
See, maybe it's just I know how I was raised is it looks very old school these days.
Yeah.
But hell, I shot my first animal before puberty, so you know what?
hey, it's something that some people learn. In all honesty, I don't know if it's something that should be learned or not, but I kind of think it might be. Not
In a
necessarily that
sense,
everyone should go around and kill things, but
in a
others
sense, it kind of should be. It kind of should be learned
because the value of life is
because
kind of important.
value of life is important. Yes, which is why I'm sorry, but if old Bugs Bunny's gonna, Bugs Bunny or Bambi's gonna have to die for me and my family to live,
Mhm.
sorry, Bambi, your ass is down.
But it's also whether or not
I'll feel bad.
Mhm.
I'll feel bad about killing you for a little while. Yeah, but you know what? You're delicious.
But that's not really the point I'm necessarily making. Like, yeah, you shouldn't feel bad if you're doing it to feed somebody, but it's when you do it and you're incompetent that it's kind of an important lesson. It's one of those things that my dad taught me. Like, if you did it
Oh,
and say you were the jackass who only did it for the horns, like that retard.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. If you're doing it for the sport,
mhm.
yeah, that I got a problem with.
Or just or legit just the guy who's incompetent. Like my dad did give me, like, I never did this. It was more of just I was using a target. It wasn't a real life animal, but where I shot it,
Okay.
he told me don't ever shoot it there because it was one of those places where they wouldn't necessarily die right away. Like, they might die over a course of a couple of days.
Oh, you're thinking he's mentioning like the leg or gut shot or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those lessons. Those are important too, because even though you're intending to do something for your family, if you did something like that, you'd still feel bad. You'd be like, shit, I didn't even eat that thing, and it's gonna die slowly.
Yeah.
Um, that stuff's
Well, you want to
important.
go for?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
Pat.
you definitely.
Hey,
Hmm.
hi, Pat.
Oh, cat.
Pat.
Pat,
Yeah.
no, Pat was in
Good,
chat.
great. Yeah, I know. I said hi, but then I
Mhm.
forgot for a minute because I was placing an order, and then I came back and code great. Shit, Pat. Hi. I saw one of your streams the other day.
She's fun when she's flustered. You gotta get her all. You know what, Pat? You really do gotta get her flustered one of these days. If you ever get her when she's having a little freak out, it's funny. Like, Drucker knows it better than me because he knows how to do it.
Or freak out, or make her whine.
Both.
Oh, I can make her squeeze too. Hey, BG.
No.
Hey, blind girl.
No.
Pew pew pew. Pew pew
No.
pew.
No.
Pew pew pew.
No. No.
Pew pew pew.
No. 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 There is no child today. There are no children. There. Fuck you.
So the story behind that was blind girl and I were in a voice chat a few weeks back on a day where I was not working, so I was at home with my son. My son was playing in his little pool, right? It's a little family-sized swimming pool.
You.
Yeah, because she heard my son going pew pew pew.
Yeah, it was adorable. You see, I should have a child today, but I don't because my expat is a butthead.
Yeah, but on a good
Yeah.
side is the day my son went pew pew pew, the Allies won against the Axis again.
So, Pat, how
So
do you feel
yay.
about Sheila?
No sound. No sound.
No
Oh!
sound? What do you mean no sound?
No, I was muted. That was me. I was right into a story too. Okay, well, that's okay. I can pick it up quick. So I was just
Start again.
Yeah, I'll start again. It's all good. It's a cute one too, so I don't mind.
Although before she starts again, Pat, what I said was, how do you feel about Tequila. Because I fell for a boy named Pat over tequila, and then he got me knocked up. And now I have a guy named Jack. Anyways, continue with your story.
You're good. It's all good.
Wow.
It's so deep. I was talking about this kid last week that I saw. So last week we had like a shit ton of rain, and our street corner just has it needs to be fixed, but there's a decent sized little hole, and Mom's like, yeah, he's all decked out in rain gear, he's good, and little kid's just like, I'm gonna stomp on this thing. Yeah, it was great. And Mom was encouraging it, she's like, there's an even bigger one over there. And the kid's like, what, really? And she's like, yeah, I mean, that's what I decked you out for, so go do it. And he just like jumped in it. His brother jumped in it too. I'm like, that's great. I love when moms and dads are cool like that. Because you could take them home and give them a bath or a shower. Some hot cocoa or something.
Wait a second.
What?
I just had a thought about something. You were muted, and it took the guy operating an 80-foot long tractor trailer to notice that the chat was telling you. What the hell, people?
What?
Well, I think they could tell that my mouth is moving a lot, and they're not hearing anything. And if I sound like you, they're gonna be a little disturbed.
Right, but you didn't notice it in the chat. I did.
No.
That's what's messed
great.
up.
Another Pat that drinks tequila. Oh, shit, hide me.
He has to sip it, though.
Amazon's choice.
I liked a little too much alcohol in my day. Okay, I liked a lot of too much alcohol. Anyway.
It's all good. I don't judge. Hey, listen, I have my own things that I gotta work out with myself, but you know what? I wasn't really a drinker. I think my ancestors drank me up on their tab. Happily so, and I was just like, oh, one day I drank, and I was like, you know what? This made me sick really fast. I was like, I feel like I'm poisoning myself. So I just don't really drink. Like, if I have something that has liquor in it, it's to sip on it. And even then, I've watered it down. And even then, it's the only drink I'll have, and I'll probably have like a couple glasses of water. The last year, though, I got a little bit of a liqueur, like a cream liqueur for Christmas. I still have half the bottle. I think I have to toss that out because I don't think that stuff lasts for that long.
I still have a bottle of gin at the house that is partially responsible for my son. So you know what? It's all good.
Like I said, I don't judge.
Later,
Later, Betsy.
Later, Betsy.
Have a good one.
Later, Betsy. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which is not that much anyways, so it doesn't really matter.
Sit on your cat, because if you sit on your cat, they will get revenge somehow.
Solve this puzzle to protect your cat. Enter the letters and numbers above. You fucking assholes! I'm blind, you prick!
Oh wait, what's worse than that for the blind person is a captcha? Pick out all the photos with bicycles.
Fuck that shit.
I think that was like one of the first things I did with you. I saw this like really cute kitty picture, and I was just like, I'm gonna send it to you. I don't know if your prompter describes shit, but I was hoping it did. And you're like, no, Jen, it doesn't. I don't know I didn't know how any of that worked until I met you. I'm glad.
Okay, PNTX. I'm trying to buy 50/50 raffle tickets off Amazon because I couldn't find it at the dollar store.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get regular two-sided raffle tickets, or they sell ones that are specifically for a 50/50 raffle.
I know. It's like $20.
Try Walmart.
Yeah.
No, at Amazon. You know what? I should try Walmart, except I can't use my fucking PayPal in Walmart, and I don't have a business debit card yet. So keeping track of purchases is really irritating.
Ah,
You gotta get one of those. They do have books for that,
wait,
so that you can.
wait, BG?
Yes.
Walmart takes PayPal now.
They do.
You got to do it online. But they take PayPal now.
Huh.
So like a pickup.
Yeah, or delivery.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's in the option where where it stores your credit card or stores your card information. It's in there as in add another payment or another method of payment in there somewhere.
Yeah, but why would I bother buying this off of Walmart when I already have it in my cart on Amazon?
Mm-hmm.
Cheaper? Or available? I don't know. I thought you were like having problems with it. So
Who do you want the money? Who do you want the profit to go to? The Walton family or Jeff Bezos?
Yeah, I know I already have an account with that particular cell number, okay? But unfortunately, I don't have two different cell phones. You motherfuckers, not gonna say anything racist here.
probably a good idea. We should find
geez.
another topic anyway. What is going on in the world? Let's see.
Absolutely nothing. It's Saturday.
That's true, but that doesn't mean things aren't going on. Oh, what's going on? What? Okay.
So there's a trucking. So I heard news today. There's a trucking company. They're pulling something you may get a laugh out of.
Okay.
Now, anybody's been with a VC with me long enough they've heard me scream, whine, complain, moan about a Prime Inc. driver. Now they've got the reputation of being one of the slowest trucking companies on the road. Now, that's not without a toss-up because they actually have a reputation of being one of the safest trucking companies on the road. But anyway, Prime Inc. is a trucking company that was founded back in the 1970s, I want to say it was. And what's been happening is apparently a lot of people started chasing down these Prime Incorporated drivers thinking they're Amazon Prime drivers.
Okay.
So apparently they're suing Amazon to get them to stop writing Prime on the side of their trucks like they are.
Huh.
The left is special. They're just so special. So this is kind of like
Yeah.
a little gist of what I got off of Twitter a few seconds ago. But you know how
Okay.
they're really upset about the fact that Hunter Biden is probably a crack addict or some kind of addict of shit that he likes to smoke in a pipe.
Crack and meth.
Yeah. And so they've decided that they're going to go after Barron Trump because that's the way to go. Tall kid who's done shit. He's related to the guy you don't like. Totally related.
Barron Trump. Actually, if you want to sit and make a comparison when it comes to Trump as opposed to Biden, okay, let's do that. Donald Trump Jr.
Exactly. Because he's an adult. I mean,
How about one that's completely emerged from puberty?
Like, I mean, Barron, I know he's not necessarily a small child anymore. I imagine he's probably he's probably looking for colleges at this point. But he's looking for colleges at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
or hell, if you want to sit and throw another comparison, okay. Well, you got Hunter Biden and you got what's her name, Ashley Biden.
yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and bring Melania into this too.
Mm-hmm.
She's a good-looking and successful woman. who was not forced to take showers with her father when she was too young. You know, I mean, yeah,
Yeah, it's very much I'm noticing a lot of like projection.
it's projection and it's very much a rabbit hole they do not want to go down.
No, they don't. I mean, I think they should. It'd be nice for her to get some justice, maybe. I don't know. I don't know her. Stuff I've
Yeah.
heard before.
Later, TC.
Later,
Later,
TC.
TC.
Have a good sleep.
Mommy.
Count the.
Oh shit! I gotta feed the cats their dinner.
I was gonna say that funny. I was gonna say count sheep, but like the queen. You know, sheep with the queen's crown. But I don't think it works. Gotta word it better.
All right. I've got the 50-50 raffle tickets getting here. Hopefully before the 30th. I don't actually know.
That's well, yeah. You were saying that that was what you were complaining about because they wouldn't show up until like the 25th, and now it's the 30th. So
Well,
that's the posters.
no, that was the posters. The poster's going to show up on the 18th, which is cutting it close, but it's all I can really do.
yeah, you got a lot of planning to do.
Oh yeah, and then after this gig, I'm going to see if I can get a GoPro equivalent for $100, and then sell online tickets to concert events for the winter. Yeah. Booyah! Okay, it doesn't sound that great when I say it out loud, but when I said it in my head, it sounded great.
It always does. At least I like to. Yeah, I do that all the
Things
time.
that I say in my head sounds way better than I say live on fucking air. All right, it's 5:15. My cats are gonna slit my throat, so let's go feed them. Oh, I gotta do dishes today. Fuck my life.
I know, real life, day to day, every day.
Oh,
Change that.
this is gay.
Oh god, that picture is so bad. There are just some things I don't need to see of people. You're like, yeah, you did a thing. Describe it. No, don't even describe it.
Did you find my grinder?
No, it's just Hunter
Biden
Biden half naked and like toasty on.
Okay, so you found Hunter Biden's grinder.
Yeah,
Okay.
not his grinder, but somebody posted pictures from his grinder. I'm like,
Anybody want to know what Hunter Biden's gonna look like naked at the age of Joe Biden? Just look at Joe Biden.
right? No, thank you though.
Thanks, but no thank you.
I appreciate you, but your gift is it is overwhelming. I will pass this on to someone else.
I think the weird thing, all in all, when it comes to Hunter Biden or Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and all that is
the fact that they
the
share
big-
women.
well, I wasn't going to go that far, but we do know that apparently Hunter and Bo shared the wife. Just saying.
And didn't Biden watch Hunter and women porn? I say and women because there's no particular woman that I'm assuming was in that porn. I'm sure it was various nudes.
Well, apparently one of the pictures he was cutting, he was doing the whole credit card thing with cocaine. One of the pictures that showed that was one of Hunter's niece's credit cards. So I just want to know one thing, actually, when it comes to Hunter Biden and the prostitutes.
Were they related?
No, the strippers.
Were they related?
Is the stripper that shoved the meth up his ass the same one that he had the kid with?
Good question.
Oh,
So yeah.
Wow. So apparently
That's what it said. That's what we were saying, Red. It's one of the pictures. It showed the niece's name blatantly on one of the credit cards. If she was in the picture or not, I don't know.
That's a great question. It's an answer that nobody really needs to know the answer to, and yet everybody wants to know the answer to.
Red, no, I never actually saw the interview itself. I did hear the interview. I did hear he was talking about how this has pretty much ruined his life. To where he ended up having to shut down the shop or something.
So
Why?
Okay.
Like, why would he have to shut down the shop? Because everybody was going up there going, "You terrible person that handed over Hunter's laptop! How dare you let us know that our politicians are crooked?"
I think the worst damning thing was that voice. I don't know, that voicemail that came out.
Sorry,
That
Dad.
is probably one of the most damning things that have come out of it. But there's worse stuff that'll probably come out. There's worse stuff that someone's holding just in case Biden decides to run again.
I'm sorry, Ozzy. I'm sorry, buddy. Did I step on your tail? I'm sorry, dude.
So apparently, the guy who killed the Japanese prime minister was using a pipe shotgun, like the things all duct taped together.
Yeah, homemade shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, prohibition does fail because there's always somebody who can figure out how to make one.
Yeah.
Been saying that for a long time. They act as though people don't know.
Especially the Japs, because I mean, they all got a 3D printer. They're Japs.
Well, hell,
Well-
the Chinese invented gunpowder. Like, let's be blunt and honest about this. The Chinese invented gunpowder while most Europeans are still trying to figure out how to ride a fucking horse.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're sitting there. What was that? 13th, 14th century, where a bunch of Chinese actually got together, and strapped a shit ton of rockets around a chair just to see if it can shoot a guy off into the moon or something.
I don't know.
So it's not a new concept. I mean, yeah, they figured that out way the fuck back then. Somebody can figure out how to build a gun.
Well, it's not a hard math. It really isn't. Like, I know I'm talking out my ass as somebody who's not an expert in the field, but like for real, like the concept of something that just launches is stuff that we've been working with for a very long time.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I know there's more to it. Like, I talk to people who do that as a living, but like the concept of a very, very, very basic gun, not that hard.
Yeah.
Even thinking like a crossbow. Like you're getting closer with a crossbow. It's not the same thing, but you're getting closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that the left doesn't think that the right is very educated on things, but I think the problem is that they're not, and therefore they think you're not. And I really don't think that they're prepared for that. Because people who do this stuff for their living or their craft or stuff where they're being responsible, like somebody who's a responsible owner knows that kind of stuff a little bit. Some of them make their own, not always, but they buy parts, that kind of stuff. They know how it works.
The weird thing is, look at it this way.
Mm-hmm.
You know how? Okay. The left will automatically sit there and go and say, nobody should have guns. Nobody should have guns. Nobody should have guns, right?
Mm-hmm.
People want to kind of point at the left and say they're the gatekeepers in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to break it to you, they're not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, just take our little social circle or our little social circle back in the voice chats,
Mm-hmm.
right? I have been known to participate in the entertainment that's using pew-pews
Mm-hmm.
will accomplish.
Yeah.
If you haven't noticed, there's at least one member of our social circle here that I will look dead in the face and say, "Dude, you should not own a gun." And that's the thing is, a lot of your responsible owners
Mhm.
who appreciate how bad these things can be,
Mhm.
they'll judge more than anybody else and say, "Yeah, you can have one. You really shouldn't have one."
Mhm.
Right? Now, the thing is, we're not going to stop them from getting one, but we will say we don't think you should have one.
Mhm.
That is true, Red. The leftists do have or the politicians do have armed security. Hell, who was that? Alyssa Milano was actually at some speech talking about how um, there shouldn't be private ownership of firearms. Yet there was her bodyguard. You could
Mhm.
picture with her bodyguard, and you could see his gun.
Yeah. Well, it's okay for her bodyguard to have them because he's protecting her. And
Yeah, but the thing is, she should not allow that privilege
I know.
because, well, she is a private citizen.
Yeah. You would think. Rules for
Yeah,
thee, but not for me.
pretty much.
I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Okay,
I've been sitting here like, I'm gonna dance in a second here.
fair enough.
That means, oh shit, I should say something.
Yep.
Hi. Say
I'll be
something.
back.
Hi. Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
This is why I stopped doing weekend shows because I have absolutely nothing to say.
Oh, there's
That and
always
I
something
didn't
to say.
get to listen. I didn't get to listen to my Jew on Friday, so I don't have anything to comment on either.
Oh,
This
you
is,
gotta be kidding me.
What? Ah, shit. Great. Sucker's gone too. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's just me. Sitting here in my kitchen making tea. And I never talk about anything on weekends because there's never any good politics on the weekend. Although, interestingly enough, Canada doesn't have any good politics right now either because all there is Trudeau sucks, and Jagmeet Singh, well, he's going to get me to say something racist and then my channel's going to explode. So I can't really talk about him either. And then there's Pierre Poilievre, whatever the fuck his name is, and I don't trust that guy either. So, how about the Mets? Sports. Speaking of sports, apparently there was a hockey draft. Although Cryptic's not here to tell you about the hockey draft, so I don't know anything about the fucking hockey draft. Oh, hey, Shocker, welcome back. Although, interestingly enough, somebody was having this conversation the other day, and they were like, all governments are essentially the same, just, different banner, different this, different that, and blah, blah, blah. And it was easy for everybody, like, yeah, pretty much all governments are the same. But in actuality, no, they very much are not. Matter of fact, most governments are the same, except the American government. They're slightly different. They're just as retarded as all the other governments. However, their constitution only allocates them certain powers, whereas our government, they just allocate their citizens certain powers. And really, if you don't like any of it,
Apologies.
you could just go and live on the moon, because there's really nowhere else to conquer and stake a claim on. I can't just go into the middle of nowhere with a flag and go, and this is Meville. Because the government owns everything.
All right.
I don't think you can do that with a boat.
A what?
Oh, I was just talking about how, if you want to get away from all the crazy, you can't even just leave and go into the middle of nowhere and get a flag and go, and I call this Meville. Think, because everybody owns everything.
Well, there's that one place in the middle of like Africa that's caught between like 3 countries or 2 countries or something. It's like unclaimed land.
Oh, like
It's
the North
usually a
Pole.
joke, like everyone goes out there as a meme to claim it. But it's like pure shit desert.
Well, there's a lot of places like that. There's one up in New England, if I remember correctly, one down in Arizona, where it's just a little parcel of land.
Yeah.
The one up in New England is like 1 acre and half of it's actually water. Arizona, it's some weird, freaky thing between several counties that it just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, but that's
Hell,
changing anyways, because as soon as like a whole shit ton of people move into that desert area, moisture ends up getting absorbed into the atmosphere, and at some point it becomes less of a desert than it used to be.
Yeah,
that is true.
So we can always just do that with those desert lands, just get multiples of us, and we'll just change the ecosystem. Area 51 is not owned by the government.
Well, thing is, for the most part, if you just you can show up anywhere with a flag. Say, show up. Let's pick a state, or pick a city and state. Schenectady, New York, right? Stick a flag down in the ground and say, okay, this is now Blind Girlville. Well, thing is, technically, you can claim that, and everybody in that area, is now a subject of you. Now, thing is, will they actually respect that? Will they respect that? Will they honor that declaration? And then will the other surrounding areas care enough to leave you alone?
That would be
well,
amazing to do as a skit.
no, it wouldn't. We already did that. It was called Chad.
That's actually kind of exactly how that shit works. But that's the thing about Chad is when it came to the Chad and Chaz and all those autonomous zones, as they call it,
Mm-hmm.
that was actually part of the gag in and of itself. It's a matter of were there enough people honoring it? Were there enough people that were respecting those boundaries?
Matter of fact, there were too many people honoring that.
Yeah.
In Canada, what you can do is you can go out in the middle of boons, okay? And what you do is you just get a bunch of signs and put around where you want to live, no trespassing. And since nobody will know who put up the sign, but everybody knows not to violate the sign because somebody probably has a gun behind that sign, everybody will just leave you alone. It could just not even be your land. You don't have to pay taxes for it. And just sit there as long as there's no trespassing signs. Who the fuck would be the wiser?
The person who legitimately owns the land, but
yeah, but they'd actually have to leave their house and get away from the computer and actually go see the signs for them to actually contest that. And by then, you could just claim squatters' rights. So really, I should do that. And note, I just pulled all of this out of my ass.
The weird irony is in the U.S., if there's quote unquote there is no such thing as unclaimed land in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
The United States government, there is actually a law in the books that establishes any land unclaimed by anybody else is officially land owned by the U.S. government. So, like it or not, at this point, a lot of those people in Detroit who just up and left, well, their homes now belong to the government.
Pretty much. The government can sit there and let it rot or sell it.
Yeah. And it's to the point where, shit, they're paying people to take land in Detroit.
Well, it's falling apart. It's so falling apart. Like, anybody buying stuff is going to be putting in money to rebuild anything. you know,
And the worst part,
Mhm.
and the worst part about the whole mess was 20 years ago, Detroit was still doing pretty good.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, they're still doing decently, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay, this is 20 years ago, Detroit, right? They're still doing pretty good. They're still in one piece, still looking halfway good, right?
Yeah.
Have you noticed that Detroit is in worse shape than fucking Pripyat?
Anybody ever notice that George Floyd is really ugly?
Do what?
George Floyd, he's one ugly ass dude.
Not sure who you're talking about.
George Floyd. The
Oh,
dude.
George Floyd.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Pripyat, the city outside of Chernobyl,
Mm-hmm.
they got blasted with radiation and abandoned. It's had 40 years of people sitting there to fuck with it, and still in better shape than Detroit. What the hell does that say? You know?
That people are very destructive. And when you don't fix your problems, they fall
That is
apart.
true.
Like it's something little simple things that you wouldn't think that are kind of gross. Like things that are little TMI for people who don't know about my city. You know, I was making jokes about the trans being dirty, and I stand by that. But our homeless have decided that it's a good idea to pee on all the posts. You know, the cement pillars that are holding up basically a little hut. It's one of those things that we can stay warm in the winter. And so they pee on the cement part. And I'm like, okay, listen, if you do that over the years, like, you know, over a course of a couple of years in the same spot over and over and over again, do you know what that does? It degrades the it's going to make it crumble faster. Because your pee is very acidic.
Yeah. Have you not
Oh.
heard all the things everybody's been saying about San Francisco lately?
Like the shit everywhere?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Holy shit! No way. Okay, so there were emergency vehicles yesterday
Mhm.
that I couldn't figure out what they were for. Police cordoned off the Ottawa Muslim cemetery, because we do have one of those, unfortunately,
Yeah.
on Manotick Station Road after a shooting in the area on Friday afternoon. So apparently there was a funeral of some guy that had been killed earlier in the week, and somebody decided to shoot at the people at the funeral.
Of course. Muslim gangs? Have we brought those in?
Holy shit! Gunfire marred the funeral of a man shot and killed earlier this week. Huh.
That's lovely. Sorry, kudos to the family. Again. Twice. Wow! We had an exciting day yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah.
We've all lost our minds. It is Clown World. I swear. I
Like,
just
we
thought
don't
clowns
have
would be more
gunshots
funny,
very
you know?
often in the city. We don't have gunshots very often in the city. So the fact that there was 2 in a week, what the fuck? The victim of the cemetery shooting, whose injuries were not life-threatening, okay, that's good, police said, showed up at the emergency department on the Ottawa Hospital's civic campus. A short time later, the hospital called a code white, indicating a threatening situation, and police and hospital security staff locked down the emergency room, preventing anyone from entering or leaving. Oh. Okay. That's interesting.
It is. Especially when it's not something that happens very often. Like I said, kudos to the family. That's still shit. But I'm pretty sure it's probably gangs. especially if there's 2 in a week. We gotta get you out of Ottawa somehow.
Yeah. The next article right beside that one was neighbors are in awe as they watch the little girl approach her favorite garbage man and give him a cupcake every week.
Aww. That's cute.
Oh.
Aww. Kids are cute.
What they didn't know was he had a #1 fan. 3-year-old Brooklyn, I don't know her last name, but why are they saying her name in the news? Isn't there a thing where we don't do that? Okay. So when some person hopped out of his garbage truck one morning to meet the little girl, a neighbor knew she had to get it on camera. Oh, little did she know what was actually happening. Okay, what was actually happening then, other than the little girl giving him cupcakes? Are you going to tell me? Are you going to tell me? Are you going to tell me?
Mm-hmm.
Nope, it's not in the third paragraph. Are you going to tell me?
I gotta
While
think.
people didn't know Dobson personally, there was one little girl who looked forward to seeing the sanitation worker each week. Okay, that's great. So why is this news? Oh God, I gotta click a next button.
Yep.
It's
the bestest story ever.
Let's
The
see.
fact that you have to click the next button is exactly why it's a story for clicks, so they can show you all of the advertisements.
Pretty much.
Yep. So there's this little 3-year-old who was waiting in her house to run outside to give him a cupcake, which means the parents baked those cupcakes. So why is this news? The thing is, no one knew why the garbage man was so infatuated with
Oh
this
no.
particular family. Oh no.
Oh no.
Right? Gotta wait for it to load.
Would you
Come
like
on,
a
just give me
cupcake?
the answer. Why? Is he each Thursday was the same. Let's see. It turned out that the little girl loved watching the guy ride his big garbage truck. Okay. It was actually her favorite part of each Thursday morning. Well, that's fucking great. Why is this the story? Why?
Yeah,
Tell me
they're
what the
making it out
fuck
like
is-
there's something wrong, and then there's nothing wrong, and then there's something wrong, and then there's nothing wrong. I'm like, that's clickbait.
Now I gotta click next again. Let's see.
And now you have to deal with a whole new set of ads.
Yep. Let's see. Garbage Man was the person's favorite part of the week. That's great. You've told me this 5 times. Okay. He is our favorite, awesome, smiley garbage man. Garbage man. Garbage man. Garbage.
Fiji is the best. I can't get away with that kind of stuff, you know? But she can.
He's the bestest garbage man.
Garbage man.
Oh, you
now
can't
I
do
gotta
because you're
click next.
American. Oh my god.
Man. Instead of waiting for Garbage Man from
Garbage
inside
Man.
her home one day, Tracy would take Garbage Man. Tracy would take her kid outside a bit closer so she could see her favorite Garbage Man a little bit better. Well, why? Is she hard of
A little bit
seeing at the
better.
age of 2? Is she hard of seeing? According to the mom, it became all about him after that. It wasn't the garbage truck anymore, but it was the garbage man. Okay. Why do I care?
Garbage
Let's see.
man,
Coming
garbage
up,
man, collects all the garbage that it can.
coming up soon. The surprise. The kid brings the garbage man. For fuck's sakes! I clicked next 5 times. I just want to know what the fuck is so special about the fucking garbage man. What is he?
He's the garbage man, don't you know? He's the magical garbage man. He comes around the corner and he's the magical garbage man.
Okay, then there's a picture of the brother
Well,
doing a Superman pose with garbage guy coming through. And then in this week's edition of Garbage Man, it was a dance party. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I read all this about a dance party!
How to make a boring story more
A
interesting.
fucking dance party!
Put it on like 6 different pages and get her to read it. The brown dog likes to jump over the sleepy red fox. The brown dog is still jumping over the sleepy red. Yeah, well, whatever.
wow.
I did that
You
backwards.
got that
Fast
so
forward.
I
good.
know I did. I know
The
I
little
did.
girl's birthday. It was
That
a
should be the
breakfast
story.
day. Except for one critical detail. The man hadn't taken the garbage yet. It was Wednesday. And the garbage man wouldn't be driving down the road. Well, then why did the parents make your party?
So is Pat and Scribe still in the chat?
I think everybody could have left and then came back and then left and then came back and we're still it is this is great. Garbage man again.
Well, I was gonna say, Dave.
garbage again.
I was gonna say
Should I turn her down?
you did warn them that when BG spurgs out, she spurgs out.
I did. BG Tourette's, how are you doing?
The next day was Thursday, even though it was her fucking stupid birthday anymore. She's been outside with her mom. Giving the guy another cupcake. I hope you give this fucker diabetes.
No, this is blind girl. She's the Canadian ramen.
Why am I clicking this?
I don't know why you are. I don't know. But your freak out is amusing.
Why?
Am I the-
Tell me something interesting, please.
So everybody in the audience, am I the only one who, as she was reading this, and they're sitting there going, or as they're sitting there talking about, and this one time was special. This one driver was special. Was I the only one who was half expecting it to say, because this is the modern age, and their mommy's a whore. The garbage driver is actually their father.
Why the fuck? I clicked the next button 10 times and there's still nothing interesting!
Both of the daughters were the daughter of, or both of the girls were daughter of the garbage man, but not their brother. No, not little Jimmy. He belonged to the mailman.
Well, yeah, he's a single white male.
And therefore broken.
Yes.
The next page is this little girl is so shy, but then Garbage Man came, and now she says hi. And I'm like, thanks, put it in Dr. Seuss book, okay? Why is this article 3 sentences per fucking page? Okay? Why?
So do they write a story like this for every 3-year-old girl who's like, I'm kind of shy. Oh, look, there's this random stranger. Oh, I'm going to be cute for no reason. Like, that doesn't happen on the regular.
I would have rathered, they're like, this little girl really wanted to make Garbage Man's day. But when Garbage Man took the cupcake, he said, girl, I'm a diabetic. Don't give me cupcakes. And then the little girl cried and ran away at the end. Or something. Something interesting! Why? You wasted like 2 minutes of my time. I'm never getting that back again.
Oh, that was more than 2 minutes.
And the article is still not done.
No, it's forcing you to keep clicking.
No, it's not. My computer just can't take it anymore.
I don't think
There's
you
an
can either.
advertisement for Minecraft. No, I can't. Even so, it made her day. The garbage man. Honk, honk,
Garbage
hooray.
Man can. And maybe it's like the Garbage Patch Kids, you know? Like she's a Garbage Patch Kid and she's just really happy. You're not wrong, Chucker. This is her
Who can
father.
take your refuge? Yeah.
You know what?
Who can
You know what
take
I'd
the
like to see?
refuge? Throw
This
it
is what
in
we
a bag.
No, this is what we fucking learned. You know what? Fuck you, Trudeau. Because guess what? I want all of the neighbors to throw
Siren makes everybody gag.
No garbage man!
The garbage man.
Yeah, your neighbors must be like, okay, what is she reading about? The Garbage Man.
It takes you to the dump and makes the
neighbors
world
are like-
smell
It's the
good.
new it's the
And
new Marvel that's coming out. It's gonna be Garbage Man. He's gonna be some kind of queer bait. He's not actually gonna be queer, but he will be queer bait. But he's called Garbage Man.
And what is ramen?
I don't know. How about garbage man? He does the whole. He's just a regular mild-mannered garbage man by day, but at night he becomes that factory from the Simpsons, where we work hard, but we also party hard. Fuck! Why don't I remember that scene?
What do you mean ramen? What the fuck? Is my name Ramen today or something? Is that it? Is that my new fucking pet?
No, ramen has little freakouts
Why
like
not?
yours. They're good.
Oh. Okay.
Why
Yeah.
not?
You have in common with her, actually. I keep trying to talk to her, to talk to you, but she won't.
Do you think people's eardrums can handle that?
Yes, because they
Okay.
hang out with ramen too.
Oh,
See, what I
okay.
like about what I like about this Bluetooth headset is the fact that once she goes above a certain amount of yelling, it just clips and it goes silent.
Oh, I didn't know it did that. That's fantastic.
So I heard BG begin to start yelling, and then about 30 seconds later, I just heard her.
I need one of those. That's fantastic.
So I know what just happened. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Prime fucking Minister apologizes for anti-black racism experienced by number 2 Construction Battalion.
How about the time he posed in it? One time. Just apologize. One time. Oh, it was just something I did when I was a kid. I was young and I was stupid. You're in your 30s, sir. Fuck you. And your weird...
Members of
sock
the
fetish, too.
battalion served with distinction in the First World War. Is any of those people still even alive?
Yes. There's not
Okay.
a lot of them, but some of them are still alive.
The Feds has formally apologized to descendants and relatives of the men of the number 2 Construction Battalion Saturday afternoon, 106 years after the formation of the
Oh, never
historic
mind. Sorry, never mind.
battalion that faced anti-black racism during the First World War.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's still alive from... I think there is.
Okay, well,
If they
if you're gonna
are, holy crap.
apologize for the anti-black racism, are you gonna apologize for the anti-Scottish, anti-Jap, anti-all the other racism in World War One? Irish? Are we gonna apologize to the Irish? Give them some vodka, okay, there, bud? The Nova Scotia base. Oh Jesus.
Well,
Nova
it's...
Scotia based battalion was the first military unit in Canada, made up of mostly black people, The battalion was primarily used in non-combat situations to clear trees, build roads,
Scotty's like anti-Scottish
maintain railway
racism.
Well, I mean, in Nova Scotia, if there was a construction company, that was mostly of blacks, but then they weren't set out into combat, they were there to do, like, work and stuff. Shouldn't the black people be going, thank you for not sending us to the front lines, So maybe we don't need to be that sorry at all there, but Prime Minister Justin Fluffles said the grueling work of battalion members was invaluable to the war effort.
Uh-huh.
He said despite their hard work, members were forced to live in segregated camps. Well, then you didn't have to smell the asses of the white people. You're fine. And not provided with proper medical care.
Nobody
Rations
really
or
was.
equipment.
Sorry.
Yes.
Canadians, Australians, and New Zealanders all have stories of like, yeah, the Brits were like, shit, you're kind of cannon fodder.
We cannot ever let what happened to number 2 construction battalion happen. Okay. YouTube, don't get mad at me. But when you tell me that there is a group of people that were mostly black called number 2, I'm not going to finish that joke.
Well, I thought there was still at least one,
We'll
but
just say when you were kids, number 1 and number 2 were things you did not want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one in
I think
Oh,
I'm thinking
shit,
because
shit.
Japan has people who live for decades that maybe one of our World War I vets have still lived, but you know, maybe Scotty's right. They're all gone. I don't know.
But the number 2s will be remembered forever, kid.
They should be. Well, they're not going to be, but they should be.
And we cannot let the service of any member of our forces ever be overlooked and forgotten,
Kind of
Except
like the
for
ones you're
World War
doing
II
right
vets.
now that are alive.
Yeah.
How about we focus
Except
on
for the ones
them?
that are
I'm sure
alive.
some of them are also people of color. I mean, don't just focus on them, focus on everybody, but you know, I'm just saying. We do still have black military men.
Apologize for the blatant anti-black racism
How about his?
experienced by the men of the battalion and for the systemic racism that denied them their dignity, even in death.
Uh-huh.
So you're admitting, wait, whoa. You're granting the premise of systemic racism, Aren't you the leader of all the systems? So it
Yes.
doesn't mean systemic racism starts with you.
And I mean, you know, he had family that was back then too. I mean, I know Pierre wasn't like war material, but he was 1970s. You'd think he could have done something back then. Would have been more relevant.
Or did the systemic racism stop when you came into government? Is that what you're trying to make us think?
Well, that's what he thinks. I mean, he's probably the most racist guy of them all, but that's what he thinks. Like, he thinks that if he goes to India, it's appropriate to dress up like Aladdin. So, I'm really grateful he didn't do that in Scotland.
I thought he did that on his free time.
Oh, he likes to play dress up all
Or is
the
that
time.
or is that when he dresses as a woman?
Yeah, I'm grateful he didn't do that too, Scotty. I mean, you know, he could have been walking around in a kilt, and knowing him, he totally wouldn't have the underwear on. That's not how you're supposed to wear a kilt. You're supposed to go free, right?
Yeah, free.
Wait, hold on. I take a bit of an offense to that, Jen. I wear a kilt more often than Scotty does.
Do you go freebirding?
Yes. Do you want to see next time I wear one?
No.
Oh yeah, I would love to see that. I'd love to see anything really there, dude.
Yeah, fair point.
You can always blow it up for her, and she could just like really put her face really close to it.
Don't breathe too. Don't breathe too hard, yeah, just don't breathe too hard, he'll meet you halfway.
Oh gosh.
Do you know how awkward that would be? It's gonna walk in and is like, no, I'm good.
Oh fuck. Oh god, that's cold. Woo.
Oh God.
You eating more of that ice cream there, eh, bud? I mean, we're
No.
talking like this today, right? So, eh?
Yeah, bud.
Bud.
Oh fuck. Oh, that's cold.
You know, for someone who doesn't like cold, you like to torture yourself a lot.
Oh man. Oh fuck.
The evil Jen is giggling. Alright.
Mhm.
Oh, now she's Kenny.
Oh god. Oh god. No. No. Okay. I went in the kitchen. I thought to myself, man, I could drink a soda, but instead I'll eat a freezy because I got a bunch of these and nobody's eating them. And so I like cut off the top and then I threw the top big piece of ice in my face and it was really cold and I regretted it the minute I did it. And that's what happened.
Yeah, she likes to poke herself in the face. Yep.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Ow. Oh yeah, cold. Holy
Scotty
fuck.
just found a video of Trudeau trying to do a Scottish accent. Yeah, I bet you it's just as good as his French accent, too.
Oh no.
You know what? I'm just gonna assume that he's Welsh.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. He's like, Trudeau's like those idiot Democrats that try to speak all Spanish or all Southern when they're like in those states to pander, but they can't do it no more because there's the internet.
No, that's funny.
Yep.
Fuck, that was the funniest thing back during the last presidential debates. For the primaries, Beto O'Rourke speaking Spanish. Holy fuck.
Didn't he suck at it?
Yeah.
Problem is, he did it decently enough, except for the fact that he can't do the accent for nothing.
Oh.
It was the whitest sounding Spanish I ever heard in my life. El Odondo Usted.
It's kind of like when I try to rap.
Oh, that's funny.
Soy me llama Beto.
Yeah, he should have smoked more bongs before he went and did that.
Or eat more magic dirt, dude.
Yeah, man. Dude.
Well, we kind of hit the 2-hour mark at least. Maybe even 3. I don't know that I want to keep going for too much longer. Do we have anything else we want to read and get done and or talk about? Ooh.
No.
No.
No, but for just some reason I got this hankering to talk like Beto.
Hello.
That's all, just Beto.
Alright. Well, when will we all be back next? Because I know your schedule's kind of crazy, BG, because you're living life and doing stuff, and Trucker has a job too, so I think our schedule's kind of
Cannibalistic Wizard, by the way. Hi. I didn't
Hello.
say hi to you. Hello.
I agree with you, Cannibalistic. Purge all the communists in the front. Well, I'll side with the French if they're against the communists for now. I can't be choosy. I just can't. But once we're done, we'll go back to, arguing in fisticuffs.
Most Quebecers, act like dirty commies.
They probably do. Well, they get stuff for it.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not the one paying, it's really easy to be like, yeah, I like communism. But then when you end up having to be part of the people who have to pay for it, and then you're like, communist really sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this. I don't like not owning anything or being able to defend anything because I don't own anything. But I will be, I guess, BG, what plans do you got? You know what? Yeah, what plans do you got?
Plans do I got? Let's see.
All right.
Subtle.
Right. Well,
Pretty much. That's it. Just.
I guess we're gonna be up in air, like when we do another stream. Sometimes we do them Mondays, sometimes we do them Wednesdays, sometimes we do them Fridays, sometimes we do them Saturdays. But that's not gonna happen.
We don't
for
do
you.
it all.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, we'll keep you guys up in air on what's going on up here in the Canadian land, because every other day there's something new. Keeping track is getting difficult. I do not doubt for a second that I predict that the farmers up here are going to do shit. Sorry. It's kind of...
already do shit.
We have, but right now it's a domino effect. You know, and it's being seen in other places. Like Germany started something, Italy started something. That kind of thing tends to go back and forth. So you're going to see more of that up here. It's just, I get the feeling they'll probably grow stuff because our guys are still workaholics at the end of the day. We will protest, but we still got to get our shit done. All right? We are not you guys who sit on your, go out and get paid to protest. I'm not talking about you BG, because you've got different situation with the blind thing. But you know, the people who, like, make their life about protesting all the time, yeah, real people actually have to do work.
Mm-hmm.
And farmers can't just take a day off. They actually have to plan ahead before they actually do stuff. That's what festivals are for. That's why they enjoy them so much. Because it's the time where they actually do get some time off. They plan for it.
Yeah, I guess.
Yep. But I will be back on Wednesday with the Hammer and Terry Diamantis on the Minions of the Zoo, because I do that with them on the Minions of the Zoo. And keep an eye out for BG. She's in and out of doing stuff. And follow Arms, because he likes to play games. And follow Johnny Hellcat, because he's one of my fellow minions. Woohoo, woohoo. And I think Scribe is doing something tomorrow, so you should watch him. And yeah, that's it. I'd say Monkey, but Monkey's on whenever Monkey's on. So, you know, just keep your eye out for Monkey if you're watching Monkey.
Monkey's had a very bad week for him. So
yeah, he like I said, with him it's always kind of like, if he's on, he's on. If he's not, he's not.
Did he fall down the stairs again?
actually, last night was a really weird thing because he didn't have a morning, but he streamed over on Twitch last night.
Okay. Well, I know he's been meaning to do more of his game streams, so maybe he just wanted a break from Twitter or something, or...
Either way, kudos to
Didn't
him.
fall down the stairs. Okay. That's good.
I can definitely relate and empathize to Monkey because he and I are both he and I had the same shitty ass internet service.
Yeah, I did remember seeing something like that. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I hope everyone has a good weekend and enjoy it, and try not to overheat like I'm going to. And it's barely even hot where I am, and I'm already like, wine. All right.
And yeah, if you can, lay in the sun like the princess that you are.
Catnap. Yep. Take care, guys. All right, and I'm gonna do the outro. So outro it is.